Hello Lifestylers, I am Renata Del Carmen and welcome to the Lifestylers.
Feeling good, feeling lovely, hey. Feeling more joy on the way, hey. It's written all over your face. It's a whole mood, celebrate. Feeling so fly with the vibes on high. Feeling alright when you walk in the light. Ain't lifestyle, come on in. Stay a little while, you come on in. Feeling so fly with the vibes on high. Feeling alright when you walk in the light. Ain't lifestyle, come on in. Stay a little while, you come on in.
For those of you who do not know who I am Renata Del Carmen. I am a woman of God. I am a mother. I'm a lifestyler, an author, an entrepreneur, and I am simply committed to providing a platform and opportunities for everyone to experience life and style. So I am excited that you clicked play today. And I had a whole different video lined up, but something spoke to me considering the times that we're in. It is 2020, it is June, we are 6 months in, and the first 6 months of this year have been wild, to say the least. But what I will say is that there are some bright spots. There are a lot of bright spots, and I think that we should focus on those bright spots because they will ultimately lead us to our next step, right? As a culture, as a people, as a country, as a world. And considering life has changed so much, the way we live, right, the precautions that we take, I felt like I needed to discuss boundaries today. Boundaries are things we think about depending on our perspective, either in a positive way or a negative way. And I think that we need to start looking at boundaries more positively and intently, because it is going to shape how we are received and basically how we will interact as a people, as a world moving forward. And so the first thing I wanted to talk about is the boundaries that we set for ourselves, with ourselves. So when we think about setting boundaries, we think about how to set boundaries with other people, how to set boundaries at work, how to set boundaries with, strangers. But I think we need to learn first how to set boundaries for ourselves. And considering that many of us are at home with family and friends all day, sometimes that we are working remotely, and so now our coworkers seemingly have insight into our home life because there are factors that just can't be ignored sometimes, whether it be pets, children, or just like how your work setup is at home. And so the first thing that you need to do is ask yourself, what do you need to be successful? What does that look like for you? And then align all of your priorities and everything else that comes into your space to suit that, right? Because your success eventually will lead to the success of those connected to you and those around you, mainly because they'll learn how to communicate with you and how to work with you and how to love you, but also they'll learn from you. And so I think the first step is setting those priorities and then thinking about what you want to give to yourself and when. So balance is very key here, because without balance, you'll spend long days working at home. You'll spend too much time chilling at home. You'll spend too much time being engaged in the things that are drawing at our attention. Right now, it's the media, it's social media, it's the revolution, it's so many things. And so you have to take time and block out your day for the things that you want to give attention to and for how long you want to give attention to it. So set that boundary for yourself so that you feel less stressed and inundated with so many things happening at once and seemingly cannot escape it because you are home. And many of us are seeing a time where we are about to embark on life outside again. but we don't really know what that is going to look like and for how long that is going to happen. So set those boundaries for yourself. The next I would say is setting boundaries for family and friends. Now, I know this is difficult because we love them and they love us, but sometimes they don't respect us. And so it is important that people are aware that because we are at stay-at-home orders, some of us in New York City, ours will be lifting soon, but we are in stay-at-home orders, and so people automatically equate that to available. Stay at home and available are not the same thing. Some of us are working remotely. Some of us are building a business. Some of us are raising a family of multiple children. So and who all are drawing on our attention, right? Because we're at home, and so in their mind, that's available. No. So it is important that you set those boundaries for people so they are aware of how and when to contact you. And you don't have to get frustrated when they are contacting you at a time that is inconvenient as it pertains to your day. So you can tell friends and family something like, hey, I'm doing my hours to communicate are this time. Feel free to hit me up here so we can chat about this and catch up on this, right? And so it is important now that you actually say that. You can't expect that people automatically know what's happening in your life or that they automatically know what you're going through or feeling, right? And also set aside time to check up on others and find out, show them how to work with you by leading the way. Let them know, like, hey, I know there's a lot going on. It's crazy. Do you have time to chat now? If not, when is a good time to chat? Like, approach it like that so that when it's time to communicate with you, perhaps they will follow the lead. And if not, let them know. This is good. Coworkers and colleagues. And it's sometimes hard for people to set these boundaries in the workplace, much less at home, when you feel like you are your job might be threatened because you feel like budget cuts may come your way, or you just feel like people expect you to be available, and if you don't make yourself available, then that somehow means that you're not doing your job. And so we need to release that thought, because this is new for many people and there is no rule book or guidebook, right? Your organization or your supervisor, managers may give you some guidelines around what they would like from you to be aligned with the organization and communication in your workday, but that does not mean that they can hit you up at all wild hours about work, just because they know you're home and expect you to deliver. So be mindful of how you communicate this, because you don't want to be rude and disrespectful, but you want to let them know, like, hey, thanks for reaching out. Is this something that can be handled at a different time? I'm actually occupied with life, personal matters, whatever it is. People ignore. I don't really think it's a good idea to ignore. No one likes to be ignored. But I think you should say, I saw your email. I can read it thoroughly tomorrow at this time and get back to you at this time, right? Simple. But you may have to set those boundaries. Just might have to do that. Lastly, boundaries as a culture. And so that sounds like real broad stroke, right? But here's my thing with that. People right now more than ever want to either get help or be helped. And while we all have the capacity to help in some way, and help can look like so many things, right? But we have to be mindful of spreading ourselves and our resources way too thin. Here's the thing. You have to take care of your community. That's where I'm going with this. You have to take care of your community. You have to take care of your neighbors. You have to take care of the businesses in your community. And you have to take care of the people that help you live, right? So while I love to support organizations all over the world, I right now am committed to preserving the boundaries of being involved where I am and the people that support me, the delivery guys, the local supermarket, those things. Like, set boundaries around how they are treated, respected, right? They should be valued. Healthcare workers, all of these people in your community, set boundaries around them, protect them, love on them. I could go deeper into that in another video because that is deep. I might bring a guest for that, maybe. But I just wanted to come on and touch on that because I felt like it was something that people needed to know, understand, and hear and share. So if you found something valuable in this video, you felt like you could relate, something resonated with you, please share with friends, subscribe, turn the notifications on, because I will be back. I will be back. And hopefully you will introduce yourselves in the comments. Yes, do that. Introduce yourselves in the comments. I want to meet you. I want to learn more about you. And I look forward to speaking with you again soon.
Yeah.